place like that. That's the second week in a row where his thumbnail was looking crazy instead of the way I want it to look. I'm not really sure why. I might have to just start taking the picture first, then uploading it. Nonetheless, though, let's get it. Yes. Yes, 2 times. I know the vibes, though. She like, ooh la la. They go, ooh la la. She like, ooh la la. They go, ooh la la. On a Friday. Best day. Best day. Looking for M's like I lost a friend. Hop up out the bed like where's the bread? What it do, people? You're now tuned in. Popovich TV. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic. That feeling back up in here one more again. So if it's your first time, then the question is, where you been? Over here, we like to deal with sports, hip-hop, entertainment, interviews sometimes, when the people don't be acting flaky. Popovisms 101, and of course, motivation. So before you jump off the page and exit to the left, I'm going to need you to hit that subscribe button, that like button, smash that notification bell, so when I upload the videos, you get alerted. You get alerted when I upload the videos, and if it's not your first time and you've been rocking with the channel, good looking. But you know how I do. You know how I plainly start the show. Tony, there was no other way. We in the end game now. And we is in the end game, people. And we in the end game because it's Friday. Just got paid. Energy is up. Feeling blessed. Feeling highly favored, as you should. And y'all know last Friday when I did the show, unfortunately, I had the funeral of my grandfather on Saturday. So we was rushing, or we really didn't spend too much time on the show. And in light of burying my grandfather on Monday, because despite what people might think when it comes to funerals, burying your loved ones, and grieving and mourning over your loved ones, to the people that's in charge of the body and how they look and all those type of things, and when they get buried, etc. It's a business. And instead of on Saturday, us having the funeral, then going to the burial, the burial was pushed back to Monday. And to be quite candid and be quite frank, as I often am on this channel, you know what I mean? That's why you tune in, that's why you rock with me, for those that do rock with me. Definitely full transparency. That means you could see me, you know what I mean? Because my page is open, and if your page is not private, then I can see you. But I haven't been to a burial in a long time. So, I forgot how the procedures, go. And when we went Monday instead of Saturday, because it is a business, and I guess they overbooked, or they, whatever. They told my grandmother, love you, grandma. We can't do it on Saturday right after the funeral. We got to do it for Monday. So we'll call some of my family members to have to go home, then come back. Some have to stay an extra day, etc., instead of getting back to work and, doing what they got to do. Again, it's a business. My sister was there, a couple of family members, and I'm bringing her up because she was like, why they got to have the people there, I guess it was the, they don't got the proper clothes on. They got construction clothes on, data diggers, etc. They using the machines, etc. And they just regular folks doing their job. But again, I haven't been to one in a long time. And when she was like, well, why they gotta come like that and do X, Y, Z? it made me reflect on this is a business. And even though we mourning and we, doing what we do, they still got to do their job. They still got to do their business. But in memory of Papa Carl, that's my grandfather. You know what I mean? One of the marriages that I talk about on my channel a lot. When I say, yo, my grandma been married for over 30 years. My mom's been married for over 30 years. I got a lot of people that's married in my family from, I'm gonna say, the old school era. Because in this era right here, although one of my younger cousins just recently got married, it's not really a lot of marriages going on in today's time. At least that's what it appears to be, right? Oh, but you're black and we just starting the show when it seems like it's on a decline because the entitlement and maybe not being on the same page is running rampant. But anyway, even with that being said, when they say stepfathers don't sign up for that, and it's a thankless job, etc. And a lot of that is true. But Papa Carl, he was a stepdad, even though he had, obviously he had kids before my grandma, and then he helped raise kids, at the funeral and seeing the different various men speak, that's from my family and the impact that he made on them. It's not to be understated that I get, where the manosphere or the red pill or people in that sector where their mindset is at. Where it's like, yeah, you don't want to, go get with no single baby moms and, jump on that train, waste all your resources, give all you can give, pour into, and then at the end or the back end, you get nothing for it, right? Not like, I rode that train, so I know that some of the stuff that they're speaking of is absolutely true. However, if you rock with the channel, then I don't agree with all that shit. Because you still can have an impact. You still can change the trajectory of, a child's life by being involved, by giving the word to the right, by showing an example of what being a man really is. Sacrifice, as my uncle, and even though he's younger than me, he's my uncle. Shout out to my Uncle T. He be on the check-in sometimes. He's younger than me, so even though he's my uncle, I still don't look at him like my uncle. More like a little bro or a cousin. And it's no knock to the position he holds. He is my uncle, right? So I gotta respect that office. But he's just younger than me. When he finally got himself together and he was speaking, about Papa Carl, he was like, yo, he helped me be the man that I am. He helped me, to be able to be the father and raise the kids, raise my kids, that he's a father now, in an upright manner, to be able to sacrifice and, do X, Y, Z. And I won't go too much into it. Obviously, it was a trying time. I spoke, as I told you on Friday, I don't know what I'm going to say. I had to get up there, and even though I got Pop of his TV, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I get on the channel, I speak freely, and I could speak for hours. You know what I mean? I'm a talker. When you got to speak in front of people or family, or just, certain occasions, it could be a little shaky, a little nervous, a little shaky, a little nervous. So, when I was up there, a little shaky, a little nervous, nonetheless, it is what it is. But never underestimate the impact you can have, on somebody. I'm not saying jump into the stepdad position, especially with women getting online saying, yo, it's stepdad season, and they try to play you for the fool. I'm not saying jump up or sign up to be a fool. What I'm saying is if you love the woman or you're in the right situation, etc., you deem her worthy, and that could be true or false as time progresses. Only you would know. You know what I'm saying? As you go on with that type of situation. But for those other gentlemen and the men that have traveled that road, that have made impacts, and I have that in my family as well, stepdad, I got two in my family, right? It's hard to explain, it's complicated as people be saying, but I have two stepdads, right? Love both of them. One is gone, one is still alive. He's gonna be 70 soon. Papa G, we love you, you know what I mean? We love you, Papa G. He gonna be 70, on the 15th. Although what people are saying on the internet, etc., you can have an impact and you can change, again, the trajectory, for men if you're in that situation and you a certain type of caliber of guy. But again, I'm not saying just go rump into it. Great fire on the check-in, and we live on Instagram and we live on YouTube. A little late today. Fridays be busy days, you know what I'm saying? I was hanging out with my mom today. I had to do something for her. Chilling with Papa G. You know, we got Juma. We got a lot of stuff going on. I was actually debating Barry Effect. What's the word? Like, should I switch to Saturday? But a lot of people rocking on Friday. But nonetheless, though, let's jump into some of these topics, right? A lot of shit been spinning in the clip, as I like to say, on the week, you know, on the weekends, etc. I am Sabrina Fox. What's the word? So let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about Fat Joe. Let's talk about Method Man, right? So I seen on my Prime, I got Prime. I'm a customer, right? Amazon Prime, and you know, you see Fat Joe, his little image and shit, and then you see on Instagram. I thought I saved it, but I didn't. It's a little clip of him spinning around with Method Man and him, and you know, Meth, you know, McCloud, right? Fucking Tyreek's lawyer, for those that don't know. But for me, he's METHOD, man. METH, like, hey, you, get off my, you know what I mean? Like, from that era when the Wu-Tang came out, and he was the first solo artist that came out from Wu-Tang Clan after Into the 36 Chambers. And he was speaking with Fat Joe. Seemed like they like on a stadium or a stage, you know, the background got seats and shit. And before we get to what he was saying, I'm thinking when I'm watching the clip and they, you know, giving Fat Joe his flowers for having the Fat Joe Talks. I think that's the name of his podcast. That's the name of his show. And I'm like, damn, during the pandemic, when the pandemic first, you know, hit us and they locked us down, he was like, yo, I'm going to be the Oprah Winfrey of this shit. I'm going to be the first hip-hop, you know, Oprah Winfrey, etc. And, you know, we watched Fat Joe a few times. He got the, whether right or not, he got the, you know, the stigma of telling a lot of lies, telling a lot of, you know, switching the truth around or rewriting history. And I don't know if it's true or not. Some of the stories, you know, you hear the hip-hop stories about when he talking about legends of the game, or he talking about Big or Pac, rest in peace, or he talking about the beef with Jay-Z or 50 Cent, etc. He been around for a long time. For those that, Fat Joe been around for a long, long time. I'm going to say, like, you know, from when Flo Joe, you got a Flo Joe, 1991, 1990, then digging in the crates with, you know, Showbiz, AG, Lord Finesse, etc. Big L, rest in peace, Harlem Stand Up. So he been around for a long fucking time. And I remember watching his live when he was like, yo, he was just talking, telling stories about hip hop. He like, yo, I'm gonna be the Oprah Winfrey of this shit. And, you know, you brush it off, you know what I mean? Like, all right, everybody's locked in their house, everybody's on their phone, everybody's talking, everybody's going live right now, you know what I mean? So it's a fad, it'll pass. He ain't really gonna be talking to, you know, talking to the people. Fast forward 4 years, 3 years, depending on, you know, your time stamp of the pandemic. Now we got Fat Joe Talks. And I don't know if Method Man is one of the first guests, but anyway, the clip that I said, I had to just preference that, right? So anyway, Meth, you know, he like, yo, you know, I was dealing with depression. You know, I get over it, then I get back to it. And it's something that you got to constantly battle, right? And then Fat Joe chimed in. Hate, love. Like, know what I mean? From the Do the Right Thing movie, Rest in Peace, Radio Raheem. Then Fat Joe chimed in. He like, yo, I believe he said when his grandfather died, or maybe his grandmother, and if I'm misspeaking and you've seen the clip that I'm talking about, then you could just put it in the comments. But the point is, he like, yo, when his grandmother died, or his grandfather, or his mother, I think he had 2 people die in his family. He like, yo, I was going through it. And to start the show, y'all hear me talk about the funeral and the burial of my papa Carl, you know what I mean? My grandfather called, so we dealing with death and we was grieving. And that's why you ain't been seeing a lot of videos on YouTube. My apologies, just getting through some shit, but we gonna get back on it. You know, everybody grieve different. Sometimes I don't really be in the mood and we not monetized, so I'm not really, you know, gun-ho with making videos all the time. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with family shit. But anyway, you hear him saying like, yo, you know, I was going through it. Not to the point of, committing suicide, you know what I mean? And unliving itself, but more to the point of just being down. He like, yo, I would just sleep in the tub, no water, no, you know what I mean, no nothing, and just fall asleep in the tub and go through it. And meth, you know, he spoke about some of the things he was going through. And this is why I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it up in the sense of, one, I've been depressed before, right? I think as a human being, when life be lifing, you know what I mean? And you often hear me quote Sylvester Stallone on a Rocky movie when he like, it ain't about how hard you can hit, but it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Because you, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. And he was just giving the boxing scenario that, you know, Mr. T, Apollo Creed, Drago, you know, to quote some of his, opponents in the ring. I think he was talking to his son. He's like, nobody is going to hit as hard as life. You know what I mean? And it's not about how hard you can hit, but it's about how hard you can get hit. Porzolini. Shout out to my uncle. I'm being funny. I know I don't play the game, but ever since he like, yo, Porzolini, you know what I mean? Like playing on pause, I've been just fucking around because I don't play that game. But he like, it ain't as hard, it ain't how hard you can hit, but it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. And he was absolutely right because, you know, as a human being, being on this earth, you're going to go through some shit. You're not going to walk through life unscathed and everything is going to be smooth as butter and right as rain. Now, you're going to have loss of loved ones. You're going to get sick. You're going to lose money. You're going to have things happen to you, and you're going to have to cope. And your mechanism of coping or trying to get over or through a situation may cause you to be down, may cause you to be sad. So like Meth and Fat Joe, he like, yo, I was going through it. I was sleeping in the tub. Meth like, yo, I still be going through this shit. And Fat Joe like, a word? Like, not like, you know, not being funny, but asking him like, you know, like, well, what makes you still go through it? Peter Parker, what's the word? And Meth like, you know what I mean? Like, it comes and it goes. Like, you know, life is ups and downs. It's ebbs and flows. And so this is why I want to speak about it. One, I think mental health is something that should be talked about, especially amongst men. When you look in the comments of that particular post of Method Man and Fat Joe talking about what I'm talking about, you hear a lot of women and a lot of men saying, yo, we need to hear more black brothers, black men, but you're black, talking about the highs and lows of life. When you get down, what do you do? And my nigga Gray Fire got a song called Product of the Drugs, right? No, it's called Product, but he really speaking about drugs, right? And that at any little sign of resistance, shit not going your way, you having, you know, some trials and tribulations, you run to the alcohol, you run to the perks, you run to the weed, you run to whatever it is to help you ease, and that may not be the right terminology, drugs to get through whatever you're going through. And so when Meth and Fat Joe was talking about it, none of them mentioned God or spirituality, the power of prayer. And if you don't believe in none of that, that's fine. I'm bringing it up because I think that's what helps me, right? Like and again, I'm not saying that I don't go through anything. You're definitely gonna go through stuff as a human being. You're gonna have highs, you're gonna have lows. And like Hov said, one day you up, next day you down. Long as you stay the same, it'll come back around. Hov, all right. You know what I mean? For me, I lean towards spirituality. I lean towards prayer as opposed to stand down, because you could get down, but how long are you going to stay down? One, as a man, I truly, totally believe, and I don't be trying to push my beliefs on nobody, ain't nobody coming to save you. As a man, nobody really gives a fuck. Not saying that as a woman, people, gonna, shower you with gifts and, opportunity and options, etc. But I only can speak from a man, because that's who the Most High made me. He put me in the man body. And I know it ain't no sympathy. It ain't nobody really coming to say. I'm not saying you can't get no help or no finance. You can't go to the government or go to the shelter or go to a program. But they far and they few. Because people going to be like, oh, you got able body? You a sound mind? Nothing physically wrong with you? You can get it out the mud. Why you not working? Why you not doing this? Why is this? Why is that? It's going to be a lot of questions. And you're going to have to look in the mirror and say, damn, well, why I'm not? You know what I mean? Why am I not? You know what I mean? You're expected to do. So why are you not? For me, again, I get sad. Just lost my grandfather. I was sad. I'm still sad. I think about my grandmother, how she going to be dealing with it. Married over 35 years. Then you lose your partner. You lose your husband. You lose your best friend. So I'm sad for that. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, life is going to make you sad. Or push you down. You lose your job. Your girl cheat on you. Your mother dies. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? And whatever else scenarios you could think of that you may have to go through, as a human. What gets you through it? Is it drugs, alcohol, liquor? Is it out, doing the most partying? And some people it is. Some people is laughing. Some people is, fucking, I'm YOLO. You only live once, and they start doing the most. What gets you through it? What keeps you from going back to being down? Because you're always going to have ebbs and flows. One day you're going to feel like you're on top of the world. The next day you're going to feel like, damn, fucking life is hard. Fucking just this happened, everything keep coming out one time. And you hear people often quote, death comes in threes. So you're like, who's next? You're on eggshells, etc. So I'm just bringing that up to say, whatever you are doing to get through the rough times, whether it's spirituality, whether it's, relying on a friend, a family, a relative, somebody close that you confide in to, get it off your chest. But I always like to quote, because it's true, when the phone's off, it's only one to call on. Like, when it ain't nobody else to call on, who are you calling on for strength? How are you building up to stay strong and be able to walk through the fire? Again, I'm not putting my beliefs on you. Obviously, what's a king to a god? What's a god to a king? Like, to a non-believer who don't believe in anything? If you don't believe in God, then God is nothing. It's just a figment of imagination. And if you do believe, no matter what religion, if you lean on it, it can help you. And this is the last thing I'll say before we get to the next topic, because it is Friday, and this is what the E-Man was speaking about today, right? That's why I be happy when June will come, because through the week you could get beat down, you could get worn down. You need something to give you more armor, boost you up like a protein shake, or something to give you some battery in your back to say I could get through another week. I could fight through this the storm. Some people don't have that. They don't have nothing to lean on. And so they end up going down and they stay down. And you be saying, damn, your father passed 5 years ago. Your mom's passed 5 years ago. Your daughter committed suicide, you know what I mean? 8 years ago. You still dealing with this shit? And that's not to be insensitive. It's just to say that, one, is no time frame. Two, we all go through things differently. And for some, you may seem like, damn, they got a divorce. Girl, wife cheated on them, and now they divorced, and they already shaking out and doing the most. How? Whatever it is that they leaning on helps them get through that. But this is the last thing. When the email was talking, your relationship with God, right? For whatever that's worth. When we do shit as a kid, as adults, we learn right from wrong. You feel guilt and you feel shame. You feel like that something is not right. But as you keep doing this, the fuckery, you keep committing the same things, you keep doing wrong, that feeling of shame, of guilt, it starts to go away. It starts to blacken the heart. And then after a while, you could be doing foul shit to people, to yourself, and it won't feel like nothing, especially when you cut the ties off. But as long as you keep some ties or communication open, you'll always feel a little shame, a little guilt, or like, I know I was wrong in that situation. and that mic could bring you back. So that's just something to think about. But anyway, shout outs to Fat Joe. Shout outs to Method Man for talking about being vulnerable, talking about being down or dealing with depression or dealing with mental health, because a lot of people don't think it's real, and it really is real. Let's talk about this shit though. Let's talk about J. Cole's, his new song. I think it's what is it called? Porter or Anna Porter or some shit like that. And a lot of people had something to say under the posters that I was looking at. I think I seen it under the Shade Room, or maybe it was the Neighborhood. We're gonna give them their credit, right? And another post was talking about what is it, Roy and Mal, the two co-hosts that was on the Joe Budden podcast until he fired them. You're fired. You know what I mean? He got them up out of here. Now they got their own podcast. But I think it was Mal that was like, yo, we don't want to hear that shit. Like, get that rap shit out of here. Like, you know what I mean? Turn off the radio. They keep playing the same bubblegum bullshit. And he was expressing that, like, listen, you already came out and said you ain't want no parts of the beef. I spoke about this on my channel maybe like 2 times. And I was disappointed, although I get it, right? We seen where it went to. Pedophile, accusations and wife-beating accusations, and, the mudslinging was at an all-time high. They both was going at it. Drake and Kendrick Lamar, who's going to be headlining the Super Bowl in New Orleans, even though a lot of people think it should be Lil Wayne, right? So he dodged the bullet, Neo, the Matrix, and he got up out of there. He even though he did release a diss song, he did clap back. And people was like, it wasn't hitting, it wasn't all that, etc. And then he bowed out gracefully. Like, know what I mean? Y'all just better hope we gracefully bow out. Put your hands up, niggas, bitches, bustlers, hustlers. Put your hands up. He bowed out gracefully. Disappeared off the face of the map. Drake and Kendrick went at it a few times, and, it was a good battle. Drop my shit down. And it was a good battle, right? For the most part. And we had Kendrick winning slightly, for those that may not have been caught up, or you may not have seen what I said on my channel. Anyway, fast forward, I think it's Antonio Porter or Antonio something, and the song is fire. Make no mistake about it, the song is fire. It got I think it got like a little sample of Dead Presidents, or one of Jay-Z songs. I think it's Dead Presidents, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's definitely Dead Presidents. And the song is fire. The bars is fire. And make no mistake about it, even though Kendrick Lamar, like, it ain't no big 3, it's just Big Me. It was a big 3. Or if anything, if you don't want to count Drake, I get it. Because of the Quentin Miller and maybe somebody was writing this shit. It definitely was Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole's. They was at the top of the top. And you're the best around. And nothing's ever gonna keep you down. You're the best around. And nothing's ever gonna keep you, like, you the best around. And he came out and he hollered at Drake, through the song. Said, yo, I wouldn't have lost the battle. I would have lost the bro. And that's to be determined. You know what I mean? Like, my whole thing was, you would have lost the bro, maybe, because in sports, and I equated it to sports when we were speaking about it when it first was spinning in the clip. People that's cool off the court, they go to eat together, they hang out at the same clubs together, they rock with some of the same joints together, they smash some of the same joints together, right? On some, we run Triz names. The quote Fat Joe, speaking of Fat Joe, and rest in peace, Big Pun. We run Triz names. You know what I mean? And you can't look directly at our asses, you'll go blind. You know what I mean? This was on the Pun album, you know what I'm saying? And I'm being funny, but I'm not. You can't look directly at our asses, you'll go blind. Like, this is what Big Pun was saying. This is not what I'm saying. Rest in peace, Big Pun. And this was on the first album, or was it the second album? I think it was on the first album. So anyway, it's competition, my guy. So you saying you wouldn't have lost the battle, you would have lost the bro. No, you might have lost the battle, but you might not have lost the bro. And I'm bringing up competition in sports the same way I did last time, because you think of, LeBron James. I'm gonna bring him up. LeBron James, because he's a big figure. He's still in the league. The NBA about to kick off another season. He's been around for a long time. I'm sure he got friends and people he rock with on other teams, people he might wanted to play with. But once you, in between the lines and the ball go up for the tip, I'm going to bust your ass. No Pausellini needed, right? Because I don't play that game. I just was being funny. No pausing on that. I'm going to bust your ass. I'm going to drop 50 on you. I'm going to get triple-double on you. Like, I'm going to show you who's the nicest. Then afterwards, we can go to the strip club. We can go out to eat. If you're in my city, if you're in LA, or if I'm in your hometown, you can show me around. And we're going to be boys again. That's how I looked at the battle, or the expected battle, between J. Cole's and Kendrick Lamar. But he bowed out gracefully. Drake stepped up. They went at it. And now he coming out. And I understand where Mars coming from. A lot of people like, yo, he immature. Only the mature can understand what J. Cole is saying. We get what he's saying. We mature enough. We're mature. We get what he's saying, but we also like, bro, it ain't like y'all was going to physically get in the ring and fight. And you was going to have to defend your title on some Mayweather shit. You're going to spit a couple of bars. You're going to spit a couple of flows. And that's going to be that. You want to make it muddy and muddy waters on some Redman shit, muddy waters, and you're going to throw some certain type of shots. Drake talking about, the wife beating, and Kendrick obviously like, yo, she's a minor and all that. Nothing that was proven. Still to this day, we still waiting for it to be proven. And side note, because this wasn't a topic, Drake is allegedly sending a cease and desist, so he can't perform at the Super Bowl. I don't know if that's going. I think he's gonna perform it at the Super Bowl. I don't, whether he get a fine or however that goes, I don't know. But nobody proved anything. And when you rap battle and you can say what the fuck you want, doesn't mean it's truthful. But even Styles P, somebody who I respect in the rap game, he's definitely one of the top tier in the rap game. If you ask me, he like, bro, it's just rapping, my nigga. I'm better than you. You think you better than me? Challenge. Bar for bar, flow for flow, and let's see who can be the best. That don't mean you're going to lose a bro because we spar verbally. But I get it. He bowed out gracefully. He free. Like, yo, he said a lot of shit in the song. If you don't know the song I'm talking about, it's Porter Antonio. I think that's the name of the song. I don't know why he named it that, but I think it is Porter Antonio. And I listened to it like 3-4 times. The first verse he just spitting, and the second verse where he started getting into the the meat and potatoes of, he like, social media, these niggas just want you to say whatever so they could be in the comments. And he right. For the most part, a lot of people just want to be entertained. It's social media, right? So you run into social media so you can scroll and swipe left, swipe right so you can be entertained. Some of us is going so we can learn some shit, maybe become enlightened, aware, in that vein, but most of it is, you want to be entertained. And so you rushing to see what's the new word, who gonna say what. And so he was speaking to that point like, yo, Drake did a lot for me. I ain't gonna lie, Cap, to say, that he didn't, because he did. And rightfully so. You should give him his flowers if he helped you. But he like, yo, I'm not gonna battle and lose a bro, but you did put out the diss song. Some people say it was a little lukewarm. It was, but I thought he was just warming up. You know what I mean? On some battle shit. Mac Man, what's the word? We live on Instagram and we live on YouTube. I thought he was just getting started. And, for what it's worth, I think he is better than Drake. Talking about J. Cole's, that is. And it would have been a great battle. Probably would have been a better battle if Kendrick and him would have went at it. As far as lyricism, lyrical ability, wordplay, the deepness of how they rhyme, and the consciousness of them, as opposed to a Drake who is more hip hop, pop, iconic type of rapper. You know what I mean? He not the best lyrically, and you got the smudge on your rap sheet for having people write for you. You can't be considered one of the best and be the best around. And nothing's ever going to keep you down. You can't be considered the best around if you got people writing for you. If you got people, in the studio with you, like, put this here, take this out, you know what I mean, writing your raps, you can't be considered the best in my book. Nobody can write for you at all. Not saying you can't collaborate, because that's different than writing your rhymes. You can collaborate, you know what I mean, like Ice Cube, Wu-Tang, Junior Mafia, anybody you can think of, Young Money. Sure, people in the studio when they collab and coming up with ideas like, yo, the hook should be like this. You should, you should rhyme like this. But that's different than pulling out the pen or, the notepad and writing a whole rhyme and then giving it to you like, yo, spit that. That discounts you. But anyway, is Mal wrong? I mean, a lot of people like, yo, who's Mal? Obviously, he was on the Joe Budden's podcast, and obviously he got his own podcast, and obviously, like everybody else, he has an opinion. So you can't be mad at him for his opinion. He like, yo, I don't want to hear that shit. That nigga could have got on the phone and called Drake, but Drake ain't picking up the phone because you winged out on some wingman shit, and maybe that's the case. Maybe it's not, but, lastly, to end on this topic, J. Cole like, yo, they took me out, so I'm free now. He ain't got to worry about it no more. And I don't think he's worried at all as far as being the top three, the best three. I don't think he's worried about any of that no more. Let's talk about this shit. Speaking of marriage, speaking of my family, and, the people in my family that's, been married for a long time. Kendra G, right? She's spinning in the clip. She just had a little singles night in Philadelphia. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters in Philly, you know what I mean? Single life. Like, single ladies, clap your hand. Like, all the ladies, all the single ladies. And she did a mixer. It's not the first time that, I think I spoke about, not her, but like another mixer that somebody else do. I don't know where it was at. Maybe it was in LA, big city of dreams. But anyway, the men didn't show up to the one I'm talking about and the one now, the one she just threw. And you got a lot of women in the comments like, yo, the men didn't show up and woo, and like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not laughing at it not being a unsuccessful event, because that's pretty much what it is. It was an unsuccessful event. You know what I'm saying? KC, Kissing Ma, what's the word? It was an unsuccessful event. Anytime that you throw an event, you have a pop-up shop or whatever it is, right? You want people to come. You want people to attend. And anytime you having a singles get together, you want men and you want women. You want them to come together. You want them to, mingle, possibly make some connections, tell their friends to tell a friend to tell another friend. And a lot of the men are laughing, right? Because she got the show singles, I think whatever it is, right? She on Instagram, then she put the whole shit on YouTube. And, as a social media, person, I'm on social media, I'm on Instagram, so I see a lot of the clips that be going viral, and the women be getting on there, 42, 43, 50 years old. Some be just, divorced. Some be having a newborn baby, like you breastfeeding, but you looking for a man. Like, this shit be crazy. Shit crazy. Some people be trolling, obviously. I mean, you can't really take these people seriously. Like, come on. Like, you can't really take some of these people seriously. Some of the guys be on there wilding out too, but everybody seems to want a $100,000 nigga, $200,000 nigga, $300,000 nigga. They gotta be 6 feet, have the 6-pack, have no kids, know how to lay it down in the bed, know how to do all these things, right? And some of these women, in the late great Kevin Samuels words, right, be average at best. And that's you, ladies. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just calling a spade, and it just is what it is, right? And a lot of them want a whole lot of money. They want a nigga that can lay it down. They want a nigga that got the horse in the carriage, and Mason bet that. Like, you Cameron Giles, And they want all of these things, right? And again, you can want what you want. You could, aspire to get what you think you deserve. But the universe has a way of telling us or showing us what you qualify for. That's just what it is. You could be mad at that, but don't be mad at me. Because I'm not here to clown you. I'm not here to make fun of you. What I'm saying is the universe is going to tell you what you deserve, what you're going to get. Because if you deserve what you think you deserve, you're going to get it. And if you think you deserve a certain thing, but you can't get it, it keeps, 52 blocking you, or it keeps juking you on some football shit, and it's elusive, it's evasive, you can't catch it, it's right at your grasp, but everybody playing you for the fool, and you getting on these shows like, damn, I can't find no man that I want. I'm looking for a man that never was married, never had kids, got to make 100,000, make this, make that, make this, make that, make this, make that, but you can't get him. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, you getting what you're going to get. So I'm saying that to say, she got her show. She been spinning in the clip for a long time. And a lot of people, to quote Kevin Samuels again, rest in peace. People like, yo, she swagger jacked his whole style, swagger jacked his whole platform. And although that's not quite accurate, because he didn't have no single show. He didn't have no show where women and men came on there talking about what type of man they want, talking about what type of woman they want. He didn't have a show like that. He had women come on the show and say what they wanted. Donna, what's up? Pop, what's the word? Friday night on the check-in. Appreciate you. He had a show where women called in on the bat line and they say, yo, I can't get this type of man, or, I was engaged 88, 50, 1,100 times, but I can't get married. I can't get over the finish line. I got 2 kids by 2 baby fathers. And then he would give them to critiquing and tell them like, well, why are you overlooking a nigga that's 5'6", 5'5", 5'11"? Why are you looking for a nigga that's 6'5" and 6'11" and got all the money in the world, but you make 40,000? He would, hit him with that. Kendra G's show was a little different. She got the single show. People is calling into her show. They looking for other singles. And they trying to, find love. They're trying to find love, not money. They're trying to find love. All right, cool. She had a singles gathering in Philly. Whole bunch of women showed up like, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies. Like, put your hands up. And no men showed up at all. And I'm sitting back saying, damn, niggas are single too. Let's, you know what I mean? Like, the niggas are single. Ladies are single. It's a single dating gathering. Kendra G, she's a big public figure or social media figure. I won't say public figure. Influence. Why nobody showed up, Philly? Fellas, why y'all didn't show up? Why y'all didn't pop out? Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas why you didn't pop out. And my guess, 3 Aerial, what's the word? My guess is niggas see what her show is about. You see the entitlement. You see women coming on there talking delulu, delulu, talking crazy. So it's like, damn, if your show is like this, why am I going to show up to your event? Even if you make 100,000. And one lady that I seen talking about it, she like, yo, she was passing by, she popped in, she thought she was late. Another woman, like, she thought she was early. And Kendra was there. She like, yo, this is what you see. She said somebody pulled up in the Bentley, like Bentleys, Ferraris, and all that shit. Some 50 Cent shit. Like, we getting Bentleys, Ferraris, like we copping everything. She like, women be saying, they ain't competing, they ain't, they ain't fighting over no man, etc. But she like they lying. This is what a lady is saying. The clip that I seen. She like, when the Bentley pulled up to the front. One of the dudes got out, I guess, in the passenger seat or whatever. All the ladies that was there was coming to the front and, looking with their third eye and, breaking their necks, etc. Like, you pulled up and something strange. And, my thing is this, though, for what it's worth, right? These dating sites, these black single dating sites, the shit that's on social media, I'm not saying you can't get nobody off of that, because you probably can. If you're a good person, you looking for a good person, you don't really. Now, I ain't gonna say your standards are not high, because your standards should be what your standards are gonna be. Definitely not saying you shouldn't have no standards. We all should have standards. Now we know men, we'll take a cantaloupe to the back of the room, a watermelon. You know what I mean? Like, nigga, fuck anything most of the time, and that's just the physical, lower desire. Being with somebody is totally different. But if you're a good person, you looking for a good person, I really don't think the Kendra G show was the place to be. The Pop the Balloon is the place to be. These online, shows, etc. Blessings. I don't really think that's where you're gonna find love at. And like Eddie Murphy once, on what is it, Saturday Night Live, all his best, Saturday Night Live shits, when he like looking for love in all the wrong places. Like, people be looking for love in all the wrong places. Now, I'm not saying go to the church, go, to the uppity places. You know what I mean? The realms, Paul, what's the word? I'm not saying like go to places like that. I'm saying be realistic with yourself on what you're looking for, what you desire. Parker, I said Paul, but Parker. What do you want in a relationship? Where are you at in your own personal life? Are you divorced? Was you never married? You looking for marriage? Do you got kids? And even though Kendra G be asking them, why you ain't married to your baby father? Did your baby father make $100,000? Like, she be asking some of the same questions that Kevin Samuels was asking. She just do it in a little different way. She don't really be holding their feet to the fire, unless, in my opinion, for the video clips that I seen, the girl is Delulu, or they acting real foolio. So she may be like, come on, the guys are going to say XYZ in the comments, so to try to get a real answer out of them. Sometimes she hold their feet to the fire, but for the most part, it's just some real, and some Kamala Harris shit, I ain't gonna lie. Like, you going on these podcasts and they're not really asking you the tough questions. They throwing you the layup, you know what I mean? So you can really lay it up and get away and get a pass. You know what I mean? Kevin Samuels, in my opinion, he was holding their feet to the fire when he like, do they gotta make a certain amount? They're like, he was holding their feet to the fire and asking them the hardcore questions to get the answers out of it. And I think the reason why you want to ask yourself that is so you can be realistic. So you could possibly, maybe kind of, sort of, get what you want. If you don't know what you want, how are you going to get it? D-Love 23-9, what's the word? And I'll quote Cam, not babies die every day. Be like, niggas die every day, B. Not that line, but it's a line of him spinning in the clip where he like, yo, people come to me all the time. They're like, yo, I want to open a store. And he like, all right, well, what kind of store? Where at? You know what I mean? Is it a food store? Is it a sneaker store? Is it is it a fucking weave store? Is it a t-shirt store? What kind of store are you trying? Like, did you do any research? And that's key, because we all got ideas. We all got aspirations. We all want to be great and do great things. Even the people that's not gonna never be great. You may have the thought of it. You may want to try to do something. You may not know how. You may not have the knowledge. You may be procrastinating. You may be stuck in the mud, and you taking 5 steps back just to take 1 step forward. Then you taking 4 steps back just to take 2 steps forward. You never could get out of your own way. That's why Cam said that. Like, yo, people, he's a man of money. He got means. He got resources. Sure, a lot of his friends and people come like, yo, I want to get on. I want to do X, Y, Z. But then he started asking the business questions, because he's a businessman. Now you stuck with like, oh, shit, I didn't think about that. How much I want to pay for rent? Is it going to be a food store? Is it going to be a restaurant? Is it going to be a sneaker store? Like, what business do you want to do? You don't know, because you never asked yourself that. You just said, I want to open a store. Is it a laundromat? Is it a barber shop? What the fuck you want to do, my guy? Because we could do whatever you want to do if you put some thought behind it. You know what I mean? Skillo, what's the word? So I think Kendra G is asking some of the questions but not the hardcore questions. But I said all that to say, why the men didn't show up? Could it be because the women on her show is a lot overzealous? I was going to say a little overzealous, but some of them be way overzealous. And again, I'm not going to body shame, not going to say people is not attractive or pleasing to the eye, but that's the facts. Some people have better aesthetics than others. Some people we all can agree and say, and I'll just throw this out there, Kelly Rowlands, right? Like you rolling with some light-skinned girls and some Kelly Rowlands. Like we all can, for the fellas, like the men. And even for the gay women, like you lesbian, you a strong dykey dyke, you know what I mean? You heavy on the studism. You know, you can appreciate how a good woman look. And for the most part, people will say, yo, Kelly Rowland is a dime. And she ain't a dime. She definitely an 8. She definitely a strong 7, 7.5. Some people will say Maya, like Kelly Rowland's dark skin. Maya, I'm moving on, who my little crushy crush, you know, coming up, you know what I mean? With her and fucking Silk the Shocker, I'm moving on. And, you know, hold Jay-Z on the song, you know what I mean? She in her 40s, still looking good. She light skinned. Some people would be like, yo, she's a strong 7, strong 8. And some men will say she a dime, right? My point is, somebody else, that aesthetics ain't that great. They don't look that good to the majority. It'll be a lot of different numbers. Some people be like, nah, she a 5.5. She is 6.5. She is 7. She this, she that. Even those women, right? I think they deserve the top of the top and the best of the best. And again, I'm not saying you can't get it. I'm not saying you shouldn't want it. What I'm saying is that reality and what you want may not equal up. Even though on her show, you still got, let's just say, a heavy-set woman, right? Well, most men don't want heavy-set women. Not thick as a Snickers and compact with a fat ass and, you know, big busty titties, but fat. You know what I mean? A little loosely, a little jingly. Most men, they don't want that. They'll probably take it. They definitely probably gonna pop, but not long term. As opposed to a Kelly Rowland, you know, a Maya, etc. But these same women still get on there and think they deserve an athlete, a king of Zamunda. He got his own money, baby! Nigga said, motherfucking Coming to America, you hit the jackpot, Lisa. He got his own money. Like, these bitches want niggas that got their own money. You got a motherfucking submarine and things. Like Ghost said. You know what I mean? Like, submarines and things. Too bad you fucked up, dummies. Like, they want that type of guy. And everybody's not going to get that type of guy. So what I think, and it's just my opinion, I think niggas ain't show up to that shit because they see what type of woman be on her show. They see her not holding these women feet to the fire. And it's like, why am I going to waste my time? Why am I going to waste my Saturday or my Sunday or my Friday? I don't know what day it was on. Pull up to an event where it's going to be less than stellar women, average at best, looking for the top of the top, and I'm not going to do it. That's my take on that. Let's get to this next shit. Let's get to some politics as usual, right? Not really a politics show. I got my opinions. I got my thoughts just like anybody else. I think you should vote for whoever you're going to vote for. I still ain't say who I'm voting for, even though it's not the top 2 candidates, which would be Donald Trump and Kamala. I don't really think they got, you know, what America needs. More leaning towards Dr. West and Dr. Jill Stein. That's who I'm leaning towards. But anyway, I think I got the clip. They brought out the big guns, Barack Obama. He been spinning in the clip lately. And he talking to black men. And he's kind of blatantly, if you will, like he getting straight to the point. Like, yo, y'all niggas ain't coming out like y'all supposed to. Y'all not showing up like you supposed to for Kamala Harris. And this is what he had to say. This is what he had to say.
Getting from campaigns and communities is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I want to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear,
Barack Obama, your favorite.
when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you.
Oh, because she went to Kappa,
understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences.
Oh, really?
And making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high and rents that are too high, and are committed to, is committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act so everybody's got help here, and cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person.
I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I could have played the whole Barack Obama, and if you rock with Popovich TV, I appreciate you, right? What we talking about, my nigga Balls? We talking about a lot of shit right now. We talking about politics. What Barack Obama just said. My nigga Farris on the check-in. What's the word, my guy? Salute. You already know. First of all, let me say this, right? As a felon or a prior felon, somebody that been in and out of the prison system, and I'm not saying that braggadociously, I'm just saying that's what it is, right? Never was able to vote, really, with the felonies on your back. Now you can vote. You even got Dave East. He out and about. Dave East talking about, you can vote. And now you can vote even with felonies on your back, right? I always looked at the government with a side eye. If you watch my channel, you're familiar with my content, then you already know. But the only president that I did vote for was Barack Obama, and my president is black, my Lambo's blue, and I be goddamn if the rims ain't too. And I was proud, I was happy, like a lot of y'all, black man, Barack Obama, like we was really proud, and he won 2 terms, right? And that was just emotion based. When you put it aside, and again, I'm not the most politically inclined, I don't, know all the details. I can't really debate with nobody. They probably mop the floor with me. So I'm not even gonna get up here, put the tie on, brush my suit off, and act like he didn't do shit, exactly. And act like I'm very versed with political, knowledge, because I'm not. But I still have an opinion. I still have something to say on it. But I had to just preface that first and say, the only motherfucker that I voted for was Barack. So we was rocking with him, right? But as he got in office, stayed in office, then got elected again. The second time I didn't vote for him. Only the first time. And we made history. You know what I mean? But yeah, my cousin died. I was in Syracuse. My cousin, Lotto, rest in peace. We Barack Obama, you know what I mean? And the coolest nigga on the planet. You know what I mean? Doing the double A brackets and all that, the college brackets, etc. Talking on all the topics, showing up to all the events. And oh yeah, he was at some of them puffy parties too, right? Not the after parties, I hope not, but some of the early ones. And you say, yo, Barack is the best president we ever had. To my knowledge, right? Then when you start digging in, and you start saying, damn, like, what did he really do for black people? Because we know he did with the LGBTQ and the LIG. We know he did with that, right? And I got family that's a part of that community. I love y'all. I don't agree with the lifestyle, But I love y'all, and you can be what the fuck you want to be. Let's be clear. But as you start peeling back the layers, you say, I don't know if you was the best president in the world. And now when you see him come out talking to the black folks, oh, but you're black, and you want to go to South Africa, right? And he specifically talking to black men. And I say, all right. He's like, yo, you know, you don't want to vote for, you know, she's a black woman, and is it because she's a woman? And again, I'm not voting for neither one of them so far. I'm leaning towards Dr. Cornel West, a black man, and I'm leaning towards Dr. Jill Stein, who I just found out about, I'm going to say maybe a month and a half ago. I like what she was saying. I like the green grassroots that she's speaking of. And when she's speaking about the government, she's speaking about it from a level playing field that I can understand. She looking at them like me, with the critical eye, like, yo, they've been bought, they've been fixed, they in bed together, they really not gonna do shit for us. We need new blood, we need a new line. I agree with that. The Democrats, the Republicans, they've been in office for years, especially if you tie to the Democratic Party. DJ V12, what's the word? And so again, you can vote for whoever you want to vote for. I'm not gonna try to change your vote. But what I will say is, what's with the sign and the shaming of the black man? Because you know that's what they're going to do, right? What's the lady, unfortunately, that killed her kids? And then she blamed it on, it's always Jermaine's fault. And I'm not making light of the kids dying, because that was fucked up. She killed her kids, and then she blamed it on her baby father. It's always Jermaine's fault. Well, black folks, black brothers, if you was not aware, you're going to be aware now. Somehow, some way, it's always going to be our fault. And, you know, a lot of brothers, it's like, yo, I'm not going to vote for her. I'm not telling you not to vote for her. But what I'm hearing is a lot of brothers, it's like, no, she's not the one. She locked up brothers in California. Some people like, that's not true, you know, woo, 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 and I'm going to say this, right? I'm going to go on Google, because that's what we have to use. That's one of the tools that we have. When I Googled it, this is before Candace Owens, not Candace Parker. She retired from the WNBA. And the Minnesota Lynx won last night. We had the Minnesota Lynx, especially with that 6. I didn't think they was going to win straight up, but they did. Side note, it's my show. Candace Parker, she retired. But Candace Owens, she did the little history, did the little documentary, started digging up who her father was, who her grandparents was, and who was these people that make you black. And but you're black. And the only reason why I'm bringing it up, because I don't really care what your race is, right? If you're a good person, you're going to do right by the people, you have a plan, you know what I mean? You want to see the people at the bottom have a fighting chance to upgrade. You know what I mean? Let me upgrade you. She made it about race. You know what I mean? She made it about, then the media made it about race. Then when I Google, it's like her mom's is Indian, her father is Indian and Irish. That's not black. I could be wrong, but I'm just telling you what I Googled. Then Candace Owens came out. She did all, she like, I got the birth certificate. I didn't go that deep because it's really not that serious to me. Just the stuff she was saying. The lack of the directness of answering the question. I got a YouTube channel, so I don't really have to answer hardcore questions. But for the sake of argument, I do pride myself, even if somebody was to drop in the comments or hit me like, yo, let me join your live, and you ask a direct question. I love people that give direct answers. Even if you may stumble or fumble and it may not come out the way you intended, you still could be direct. When you ask, what's the lady, I can't think of her name right now, Lynette Brown or whatever the fuck her name is, one of the judges, when they asked her a direct question of what's a woman, and she went into a whole political spiel. First of all, you are a woman. You are a woman. How the fuck you can't explain or, you know, convey what a woman is? And she went into, and even the lady that was asking the question, I forget who the lady that was asking her, and she like, cut all out what you said. What is a woman? And then she like, depending on how you define and, you know, what's this and, you know, biologically and woo, 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 and And I'm like, no, I don't want nobody like that in control. I don't want nobody like that having power over me, you know, and the little things that's gonna affect me. Because make no mistake about it, what's gonna affect you more is gonna be on the state level, local level, and even though I know I said I started this particular topic with, I'm not the most educated. I do know that. I do know that it's state, local. I know the different branches of government, and I know how they work. Let's be clear. I'm not the smartest, but I'm not the dumbest. And I studied this shit in prison. I got little certificates on it, and I help people. If you're familiar with my channel, then you already know this. State and local level is where we need to be focusing at, right? And in New York City, which will be the next topic, we in disarray with Mayor Adams and his fucking, you know, his team. But anyway, I just don't like how she answered a lot of the questions. She always going and, you know, well, as a child of a middle class this and a middle class that. Man, you grew up in Canada for most of, you know, for a lot of years. Then you came over here. You went to the black school. I get it. Anybody could go to them black schools. Just like black folks go to all white schools. That don't make you white. Just because you go to an all white predominant school, it doesn't make you white. If you're a black man, you're an Asian man, you're a Latino man, you're a Poland man, you're whatever man you want to be. If you go to an all-white school, it doesn't make you white. It just means that you went and you chose to go to an all-white school. That's all that means. That's all it means. If you put some kittens in the oven, doesn't make it oven kittens. Just means that the kittens was born in the oven. So it's just like little things that she be saying that, you know, I don't like. You know what I mean? I don't dislike her because I don't know her personally. I just don't like the bouncing around the questions. Answer the fucking question to the best of your ability. Give a straightforward answer and let the people know. That's what I respect. Like, listen, you know what I mean? I'm black because of this. Woo, woo, woo. You know, they don't want to answer, you know, that's their problem. No, it's your problem because it's in the media and we want you to address it. We want you to address certain things because where do black folks, I never met no black person cook no collard greens or wash no collard greens in the tub. If you know somebody like that, please drop it in the comments because you're going to be hard and pressed to find another rapper like me. Gave you prophecy on my first joint and you all egged out. Then appreciate till the second one came out. So I stretched the game out. X your name out, put Jig on top, and drop albums non-stop for you niggas. Like Hove said, that's a whole reference. You're going to be hard pressed to find anybody. And if you do find them, they're going to not want you to put that information out there about them because that'll be a secret that they don't want out. Nobody wants you to know that you was doing that shit in your tub and then serving the people. That's not something you brag about, but because she not black and she don't know black culture, she threw that out there as a flex. Like, yeah, you know, so many people love my collard greens, they had to cook them shits in the tub. What? What are you talking about? My grandmother never did that. My great-grandma, my mom's never did that. Like, what are you talking about? Please explain. Josh Bolin, what's the word? So now when you hear Barack come out, and let's also be clear, right? It's a clip of him where I don't know who the person was interviewing him. He was like, if I could, I would just sit in the back, have some shit where I could just say my words, let the person that's in control in the public eye, I would dictate to them what it is, right? And I'll just say this, right? First of all, I'm sure Barack ain't perfect, so we ain't shitting on Barack. He is who he is. He the first black man president, right? Even though Donald Trump was questioning that shit, he wanted to see his birth certificate, and he was wrong for that because he's black, right? Even though I think his father or his mom's is Hawaiian or whatever it is, right? He's still a black man. When you get in the camera and you can't answer direct questions, and you playing a politician role, and they all politicians, so that's why I said he's not perfect. He a politician. He's on the Democratic Party. He is the Democratic Party. He's He's their #1 draft pick. He's the LeBron James of the Democratic Party. He's the Jokic of the Democratic Party. He's their go-to guy. So I expect him to be out champion Kamala Harris. I expect him to be out bigging her up and telling black folks and trying to galvanize and mobilize the vote, because she might be losing. But to try to shame, to try to say, yo, you don't want no woman over you. I think you out of touch, and maybe you need to be online more to see what people are saying. We're not saying because she's a woman we ain't rocking with her. She a woman, she a woman. Don't get me wrong. The Most High made men and women different. So when it comes to war or popping off or getting overly emotional or overly charged, a woman is probably going to fit that bill more than a man. Now, obviously, in 2024, you got men that's over zesty. You got men that's overly emotional, can get mad at the drop of a dime and spaz out and wild out. But obviously, we wouldn't want those men, the leader of the free world. They would be disqualified the same way we would want her to be disqualified. But again, we didn't choose her. They just plucked her in. So it was just a lot of stuff wrong. I'm going to quote my little conversation with my son as I did, a few weeks back when I asked him about Dr. Cornel West. I'm like, why y'all not talking about him? Why you, D.L. Hughley, Charlamagne the God, Tamika Mallory, anybody else, Taraji P. Henderson, all the people that's on Kamala train, why y'all not bigging up Cornel West, Dr. Cornel West? And what my son's words to me was, I respect the brother, you respect him, but you like he ain't gonna win. Well, why he not gonna win? He ain't gonna win because you ain't bigging him up, because you ain't talking about him, because you not putting his name in the algorithm. In fact, when I posed that question, I put it on my page, and my page is small. We just starting to grow. We just starting to, get a lot of people to fuck with us. People under my post was like, yo, Cornel West is running for president? I ain't know that. I'm like, yeah, I just found out myself. So we ain't know. Dr. Jill Stein, because she was on the Breakfast Club and Angela Rye had a little kid hissy fit sitting there, mad like she a whole grown woman, I never would have knew who she was till the Breakfast Club. And I'm like, oh, I like this Dr. Jill Stein person. I like what she's saying. I like how she addressing, the elephant in the room, and I like how she going back at Angela Rye. I like how she ain't backing down, and 50 don't back down. And so she gained my respect. Then I went online, I went on Google. Who's Dr. Jill Stein? And, because Angela, you never won no races. You never won nothing you ran for, trying to play her. You know what I mean? And to quote a fucking Max Kellerman from First Take, and not to quote Max Kellerman from First Take, but to quote Terrell Owens. You know what I mean? And that's my quarterback. And he was telling Stephen A. like, Max Kellerman more blacker than you. To me, my first impressions of Dr. Jill Stein, I'm like, she blacker than a lot of motherfuckers. She blacker than you, Angela Rye. I don't even know if Angela Rye's black. Maybe she's Latino. She blacker than you, Charlamagne. The shit she was saying was, I'm liking my ear was like, I like that. She blacker than y'all niggas. And that's why I would rock with her or Dr. West. I would like to see both of them run as president or, vice president back to back. That's something I would like to see. But it ain't going to happen. We're going to be stuck with either motherfucking, Harris or Trump. You know what I mean? But Barack Obama, you're not going to shame us. You're not going to fear-monger us and, it's either her or it's this. I think a lot of black brothers is off that wave. You know what I mean? Hold on real quick. My sister hitting me up. You're not going to shame us. But that's all I got for the political stance. You know what I mean? Vote for whoever you vote for. Be informed. Make sure that's what you want to do and not what somebody that you follow, that got influence, they got a lot of followers, and you keep seeing the same shit. Because it's like black-ass hip-hop songs that we hear on the radio. And Ice Cube been told us on his first album, America's Most Wanted, turn off the radio. When you hear a song a certain amount of times, oh, that's your shit now. And ooh, that's my shit. That's my shit. Like you keep hearing the song over and over. When you first heard it, you like, nah, that's not it. Shit trash. And I'll be quick to say, sprinkle some dirt on them. That shit trash. But then again, when you in the car, now you in the gym, now you in the taxi, now your cousin is playing it. Other people like it, so you hear a little bit more of the lyrics. You hear a little bit more of the flow. You like the beat. Now you slowly start to bop into it. And now that's your shit. Even though when you first heard it, and I get it, some songs gotta grow on you outside of the radio. Because you do get to listen and you say, oh nah, she said some shit. I like how she flipped it and bounced it. But most of the time it's programming. It's not predictable programming. I forget what the word is, but they programming you to like the shit. So now after the fifth, fourth time, you like the shit. Even though initially you didn't like the shit. Don't let people that's probably getting paid, and even if they're not getting paid, if they on the Democrat side or on the Republican side, that's the side they rocking with. So they're gonna champion that side. So when you on their page and you scrolling, you constantly seeing things that they rocking with. And so now when it get close to election time and it's time to vote, you voting for their candidate and not your own. You're not using your own mind. You was influenced by somebody else who got a bigger platform than you. Anyways, let's get to this shit though, right? Let's get to Cam Newton. You know what I mean? And him being the new acquisite, you know, the new team player on First Take. And I think it's interesting. I think his first day was today. They was at Tennessee University or whatever. They every year they go around to the HBCUs and the black colleges, etc. Right? And Stephen A. Smith, he's a real big advocate for the black colleges and bringing light to them, etc. And that's a good look, right? Obviously, he's black. He should do that. He should use his platform to bring light to the HSBs, BCs, etc. And coming from somebody that never been to college, been up north, but I never been to college, right? I never been to college, but I got crazy knowledge, over 18, am I? Slick Rick reference. Anyway, Cam Newton was on there today, and I seen some of it while I was getting ready for Juma. It's Friday, so we get ready for service, go get prayed up, and get our blessings, right? And I said, oh shit, Cam Newton on First Take now, but they got Kimberly Martin, and maybe last year, I want to say, or maybe not even that long ago, she was talking about Cam Newton, talking about his dress, talking about how in the year of the backup quarterbacks, he's not on the NFL roster. Nobody's calling him up. Excuse me. Nobody's blowing up his phone for him to come play for them. And pretty much that's like a lot of these people in their basement. She was up here. Make no mistake about it. She was on her high horse and she was up here and she was the best around. And nothing's ever gonna keep, like, she was the best around and she was looking down on niggas. Like, y'all niggas is under me and Don Corleone and you under us now. And she it's like, he sounds like a lot of these people that's talking from their basement, talking about me and how I should be in the kitchen. And you watching me. Like, she really was feeling herself, right? And, it was, I think it was Damian Woody and, the other fucking the other dude, you know what I mean, who I don't really much care for, just how he be coming off. I don't know him personally, but just his stance. What the fuck is this Dominique Foxworth, right? And he she on his neck making fun of Cam Newton, you know what I mean? And nobody checked her, right? Whole woman up there talking about men's sports she never played, and that's not to say that women can't be knowledgeable of the sport. There's plenty of men that never played the sport. Grass smoky, what's the word, right? Plenty of people that I never played sports. I got an opinion. We're about to talk about sports and who I'm going to be betting on this week. So I'm not saying you can't have an opinion, but the way she was throwing jabs and let's not even talk about the outfit. Like straight up shots fired. Nobody's calling you and where you at. And that's all because he who played the game, played it at a high level, won the Heisman, played in the Super Bowl against Peyton Manning, none other, right? And they lost to the Denver Broncos. And y'all know I believe sports is scripted and rigged, so it was no way that they was going to win anyway. He wasn't going to beat the GOAT or one of the GOATs. He wasn't going to beat Peyton Manning, right? Played at a high level. He like, yo, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, who else he named? He named like 2 or 3 other quarterbacks. He like, yo, they game managers. They game managers. It ain't like they could go in and, turn up and make players better players. Like a Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. You think of other players that when they come on the court, whether basketball, baseball, football, whatever, they make the other players around them better. They just game managers. They got good players around them, and they just don't need to mess up the game, right? None of the football players checked them. Nobody said nothing. They actually was laughing with her. Then he clapped back, you know what I mean, on his show. Forget the name of his podcast, but I rock with Cam Newton podcast. Anyway, now he's on First Take. He's the new addition, right? So they got a lot of ex-NFL players, Swagoo, Dan Orlovsky, even though he was a backup. They got the NFL players to match with Stephen A. So I'm wondering, the dynamic moving forward, if they're gonna be on the same set together, is he gonna be looking at her with the side eye, or is she gonna be out of here? And your record deal video out of here, your Mercedes Benz and your time on First Take out of here, because you could be replaced. And that's what Cam said. That was his last shot to her on his podcast. He was like, through and all, you could be replaced. And you talking on TV this week, but next week you could be replaced. And we know she eye candy. You know what I mean? I think she attractive woman. I know she was married. I'm not sure if she married now. I know a lot of these days she ain't wearing her bling blow. And your wrist bling bling, my shit bling blow. You know what I mean? We don't see her wearing that. It was to the other. She wasn't married to no black brother, yet she up there talking shit or talking down to a lot of black brothers, huh? Like, you know what I mean? Like, where do you get off doing this? And, none of the people that was on set with her checked her. But anyway, Cam Newton made his debut today. I thought he did good for the little segment that I seen. And, he had the crowd turned up in Tennessee. And obviously his take on sports, especially as being a quarterback, and he played at an elite level. You could say what you want. Those Carolina Panther teams, he only really had Steve Smith, and I can't think of the running back name right now, but it ain't like he had a lot of great teams. It was because of him. How he played the game, putting his body on the line, and being a specimen of a man, as far as tall, strong quarterback, or, run like a running back, and doing some of the same shits we see Lamar do, but in a stronger way. You know what I mean? Every time he ran, you ain't really worried about him getting really hurt, as opposed to, what's the new quarter, the rookie sensation, Daniel Jones, I think it's Jalen Daniels or whatever, from Washington, or like a Lamar, or like a Kyler Murray. You small, you shifty, you elusive, but if one of these linebackers lay a hit on you, you might be out of here. Cam was, like Dante Culpepper. You know what I mean? My guy, when I was a Purple People Eater, fan, when I first started watching football, I think Culpepper was like 6'4", 240 pounds, 60 pounds, like big nigga. I mean, he run through. It's going to take a lot more yardage to take him down. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting how things spin around. And last year he was being talked about, and they was talking about him. Now you on First Take, one of the biggest platforms on ESPN with Stephen A. Smith, and obviously Shannon Sharp is on there, and Stephen A. And their chemistry looked pretty good from what I seen while I was getting ready for for Juma. Let's get to this one more topic. We've been on a little while. Then we're gonna talk about football. We're gonna get to Week 6 and our picks. Diddy news, right? No, actually, 2 more things. First, Diddy, and it's gonna be short. Cause my nigga Bombs, I was over his house. He was making some beats and shit, listening to some of that new fire he got. And he like, yo, you only did like 2 videos, 3 videos on Diddy. You need to be talking about Diddy, woo, woo, woo. And I appreciate, people that send me topics, people that say I should talk about this or whatever. They want to hear my spin on it, my spill. I appreciate you. That's what my channel was about. Talking about the trending topics, entertainment, etc. Pushing the word towards the right, and hopefully you get something out of it. But what I told him is what I'll tell you. When Kevin Samuels, rest in peace, right? When he had his show, when Kendra G, when she do her show, and I'm speaking about these 2 people in particular because this is what I told him. It's one particular channel. I'm not gonna say their name now, even though I did say their name in the past. Every time Kevin, and a lot of people was doing it, wasn't just him, but he was the one that kept it going. Every time Kevin Samuels came out with a video, he doing a reaction. He doing the same talking points that Kevin Samuels is doing. When Kevin Samuels passed, rest in peace, right? May the Most High have mercy on him, right? Then he switched to Kendra G. And I think she flagged his channel, got his channel flagged, and so he had to fall back. And now he kind of like do a little various topics, do different shit. It's still dealing with women, but my point then, when I spoke about it and I said his name or said the name of his channel, I was like, I can't, although I got a channel on YouTube, I'm a content creator, I can't sit on no channel every single day talking about the same shit. Even though it may be a new detail here or there. This week is baby oil. This week it was drugs. This week it was spiking the drinks. This week it was that. It's all still the same shit to me. Can't get on the channel and keep talking about the same nigga every day, the same chick every day. Although it may be trending and on all the channels, that's what they talking about. Me personally, like I said, I'm full transparent. What you see is what you get, and what you get is your ass kicked, and that's a Red Man reference. I can't do it. Can't get on the channel, even if I was getting paid to do it. That's just how I'm built. That's just how I am. Even if I was getting paid and my channel was monetized, and these are the trending topics. I talk about Diddy every day. Like when you go to certain people's pages, like the last 10, 12 videos is about Diddy, and I get it. Some people want to hear about it. Some people don't. So obviously it's lucrative because all these channels, oh, he went to court today. Oh, his kids did this. Oh, this person said this. Oh, they coming out with this. Okay, we get it. He got caught. He probably guilty, or he may not be guilty. They pushed this trial till May next year, 2025. He gonna be locked up till next year. Man, I'm not happy that he gonna be locked up because I've been locked up a few times and it ain't nothing nice. Especially when you're used to sleeping on, silk sheets, and you got the best of chefs, and you eating the finest of grapes, and you living your best fucking life, and you've been living that life for a long time. Now you gotta wake up and eat motherfucking oatmeal and 2 slices of toast, and that motherfucking silk 2% milk, and it's not a good place. And I get it. That's where the criminals go that get caught, but some innocent people are there too, and he should be innocent until proven guilty. But I just can't do a video every time some new details come out. But anyway, his moms and his kids went to court today or yesterday or whenever it was. And they pushed this trial back to May. Still denied him bail. And we're going to see what happens. That's my stance on it. You hear Dame talking about the parties with Leah. You're going to keep hearing people come out and say little things. But for me personally, I don't care how trending this shit is. I don't. I'm going to talk about it, do my little spill. Maybe I'll spin back if it's something worthy or I feel worth talking about. But every single day, every single video, no, I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to be able to do it. You're going to have to go to the other channels to, get your Diddy feels and, did he do it? Did he drug it? Did he labor? If he didn't do it, then did he? Why did you pay her? Like, I get it. It's funny and I get it. I can't do it. You know what I mean? So to my nigga Bombs, like I was explaining to him, like, yo, I hear you, but I can't do it. And, like the brother who I was talking about, and I'll just give you this little caveat. He say, let's spin the clip, and I changed that to spinning in the clip. You know what I mean? So, when Kevin Samuels died, Where's your content at? Now you don't got no content because you was using him for every little video, every little thing he said. You had to flip it and bounce it on some purple tape, on some Ray and Go shit. Like, here these niggas come, they hear you say one word, then here they come, they want to flip it and bounce it, and they want to get a chance to shine before you get a chance to shine on your own shit. Then when Kevin passed, now you on Kendra G. You know what I mean? Then when she flag you, now you got to jump to the next person. It's like, there's no originality, or you don't waste your own swagger. I get it. We all talking about the trending topics and shit that's spinning in the clip, right? But where's your own flair? How's you flipping it and entertaining the people, if you will? Challenge. Where's it at? You have none because you waiting for somebody else to do a video. Same thing with Mr. Last Name. Same thing with Corey Holcomb. You know what I mean? And I fuck with what is it, 551 or 5150 or whatever it is. I fuck with Corey Holcomb. But as soon as when he do a video, everybody, you keep doing videos about him. You keep doing video. You just repeating the same shit that he said. You ain't saying it differently. In fact, you playing the video, then you say one or two words. Yeah, I agree with him on this, and then you let him play again. We might as well go watch this video. What the fuck we watching you for? And I'm not being a hater or none of that. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that's how I view it. And that's why if you come to my channel, you're not going to see me just doing that. That's just not me. Last quick topic before we get to the picks. And this is going to be a real quick topic too, because it's politics again, but not in the politics of like who you should vote for, who you should not. You heard me make reference to New York City. That's where I'm from. Welcome to New York City. Welcome to New York City. Like, you from the home with BK Brawlers, and you know what I mean? Like, Keith, what's the word? Mayor Adams. He back in the building. Brooklyn, we back in the map. Me and my beautiful bitch in the back of the back. Another one of his cabinet members, if you will, Shay Hardy, what's the word? This is the last topic before we get to the sports. We spoke about him last week and the week before, and I'll just say this, right? I have to keep bringing this up so people can understand my point of view. And my point of view is this, right? In Islam, which I follow to the best of my ability, doesn't mean that I'm perfect because I follow Islam. Just like if you follow Christianity or you follow Judaism or you a Hebrewite or whatever the hell you follow, to you be your way, to me be my way. Doesn't mean you're perfect. So I'm not perfect when I say that. But what I will say is that in the Islamic faith, we don't give leadership positions to the people that want it. People that's gunning to be the head nigga in charge, the HINC. We don't give you the position because you want it. In fact, we look for the person that's 52 black in it, because that shows that even though they could be playing a chameleon, they could be cosplaying, etc., and you have people that do that, right? But for the most part, it's one thing to be ambitious and you running for campaign, you running to be the mayor of the city, you running to be the president, you running for the school board, or you got ambition. And there's nothing wrong with having ambition, as opposed to the person that sitting in the back. They don't really want that responsibility. They don't want to govern and make decisions over other people, over other grown people. They don't want to have to ration the money out, ration the food out, ration the military in case we got to go to war. Listen, I'm going to have to send people to their death. I'm going to have to send people to protect us, and they might lose their life. I don't want that burden on me. I don't want to be the head nigga in charge. And I'm using that term loosely. But heavy is the head that wears the crown, right? And so I'm bringing that up to say, when you see the police chief, when you see last week his main advisor, and we learned that she was his friend for over 40 years, Ingram Martin, right? The dark-skinned lady who I say she be wearing all of the Gucci, Fendi, Prada earrings and all that shit. And again, I don't know, I'm not really casting no aspersions on her or nothing like that, but just from afar and reading people's body language and what they adore themselves with, and how they facial expression, because that's all we really got to go on. You don't really know them personally. And I think I am a good reader of just that alone, because what's the word, what they say, 90% or 85% of communication is nonverbal, and being locked up. Well, I'm going to reference that. When you're forced to be around people who you don't know nothing about them, how they move, what they saying. You get to pick up on a lot of little shit that the average person may not, because you're not forced to be confined. Like, it's one thing living in the projects and you're around people. You're going to learn too. But it's one thing to be on a gallery or a dorm, and every morning you waking up with motherfuckers. You're going to learn some shit. You're going to learn some body language, and you're going to learn how to read people. That's just what it is. And that's a skill that I done picked up, right? What's up, Riri, on the check out, my cousin? When you watch her facial expressions, how she wears certain shit, not saying she corrupt, and I'm not saying she dirty, because I don't know her. And if she innocent, then she innocent. But it's clips spinning in her right now. She like, yo, they been coming after the mayor. They been coming after me. Now you resigning. Other people is resigning. The commissioner, the police commissioner, he resigned. The new person came on. Now he gonna resign. And you sit back and you say, damn, bro. Is all these people corrupt? And if they are you surprised? Are you shocked and amazed when you put the beat on? I'm not, because again, if you follow the topic 2-3 topics ago, when it comes to political and politics as usual, on some Jay-Z shit, are you surprised that the people that want power, they want to be in political, high standards, are you surprised that they doing underhand fuck shit? I'm not, because that's what they getting into it for. Some want to make a change and gonna make a change. Like, you the man in the mirror, you really for the people, and you want to feed all of the homeless. You want to get all black folks good, right? And some people may want that, but that's not what you're really into politics for. That's not what you really want to be the chief of, the police commissioner for, the head of the fire department, the head of the books at your office and your firm. You don't really want to, you want to be in that position because it comes with power. And like 50 Cent said, I told niggas not to gamble with me. I got money. Don't trip. Position of power. I'm gunning for this position of power because it brings influence. It brings, not fear, but people kiss ass when they know you could do stuff for them. Kurt, what's the word? Kerry Curtis, what's the word? When people know you could do stuff for them, or they know you standing on a position of authority, they're going to kiss your ass. They're going to chummy up to you. They're going to do little favors for you. And I wash your back, you wash my back. Pause, Eleni. Pause. Pause, right? I'm being funny, but I'm not, because I don't play the game. I just been being funny since me and my uncle been playing with it. You know what I mean? Pause, Eleni. For y'all niggas out there that stay using it. I wash your back, you wash my back. I do you a favor, you do me a favor. I look this way, you look that way. That's why these people get in position, and what Nas say. It's a dirty game. Is any man worthy of fame? Much success to you. Even if you wish me the opposite. Sooner or later, we'll all see who the prophet is. And, I'm not hating on Mayor Adams. He's a black man. I think he was the second or third mayor of one of the largest cities in America, right? New York City. But you was a cop, right? And I don't know if you was a good cop or you was a bad cop. And you worked your way up through the ranks. And when you see, the Muslim brother who was on the staff, he brought, they brought him up on charges and bribery and all the shit that's surrounding. I sit back and say, I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. I'm not amazed. I'm not. The lady who was married to the school chancellor, or they getting married. Now she stepped down, he stepped down, this person stepped down, this person stepped down. You all in cahoots, and it's just one big house of cards. And I'm not surprised. The government got to come down on the people that's lower than them. You got to make it look good. Can't just have people running them up. And just like in the streets, and I'll end this with that, and then we'll get to the picks. The cops, the feds, they're gonna let you have your little run. You're gonna be the king of the block for a little while. You're gonna be the king of the Bloods for a little while. You're gonna be the king of the Nietas for a little while. You're gonna give out orders and casting over 2 times. You're gonna be on the phone, Jim Jones and them, yo, go kill them niggas. Go do X, Y, Z for a little while. Then as soon as we feel like it, or the mayor or the governor or the president say, yo, need y'all to clean them streets up. It's election time. I'm going to need y'all to, all the information you was gathering on them, I'm going to need you to, pull them receipts in and go get them boys. And that phone call is made and the block is swept and the bus is made and you going in. And you going to jail now. You going to jail now. Now it's time to pay the piper, and that's what happens. In political politics, the same thing with the streets. They give you a little run. They use you on the board. If you play chess, I'm a chess player. They use you for a little while, and then once your use is no longer, then you're out of here. You to the left. To the left, to the left. Like, you're replaceable. You're replaceable. And that's what happened, I think, with Mayor Adams. And we will see, as it plays out, but I'm not surprised. Maybe you are, but I'm not. Let's get to this, though. Let's get to, we've been off for a little while. I know I could talk a long time. Let's get to the picks. Week 6, NFL picks. Last week, so we clear, we went 8-6. It was 14 games. We went 8-6. And out of the locks, not from Yonkers, the locks that get you and me, the winner, chicken dinners, we went 4-2. So that's the first week that we had a winning week. So our total record for picking all the games is 41-37. We still above 500. And for the locks, we 14-16. Still 2 games under 500. But I plan on going 6 for 6 this week, and we're going to bring our record up. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Oh, before we get to it. You know what part of the show it is?
Yeah.
Chicken dinners.
Great fire. Rich famous.
Winner, chicken dinner, money long clicking. Those who do it daily, one-on-one populism. Coupon.
Winner, chicken dinners. We're going to be looking at the CBS Sports app. That's how I look at the picks. Obviously, if you on FanDuel, DraftKings, the spreads may be a little different, but for the sake of the channel, when I go through my picks, we're using the CBS Sports app. First game, 9 o'clock in the morning. We got Jacksonville Jaguars, a 1-point underdog at Chicago. But again, they're not at Chicago. They're in London. Chicago was 3-2. Jacksonville Jaguars, they got their first win last week. We had Jacksonville, and we had Jacksonville as a lock. This weekend, I like Jacksonville again. I think they found somewhat of what works for them. Chicago was a good team. Obviously, they're above 500. The rookie is showing us that he can play, he can ball. That's why they took him number 1. But I don't think they all that. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think they're going to keep winning. Not in a row anyway. They on a 2-game win streak. Can they win 3? Yeah, they can win 3 games. Will they win 3 games in a row? I don't think so. So we're going with Jacksonville. Next game, Washington Commanders on the road, getting 6.5 at Baltimore Ravens. Washington got a better record. They 4-1. Baltimore Ravens is 3-2. So when I see the spread, I'm looking all the way from deep like, damn, Baltimore giving 6.5 to a team with a better record, to a team that's won 4 in a row? Are they going to win 5 in a row? Are they going to cover the spread? I don't think so. I know Baltimore had that game. We had Baltimore as a lock last week too. And at first it looked like they was going to lose. Then it went to overtime. Lamar Jackson fumbled the ball, etc. Woo. Baltimore ended up pulling it out. They covered the spread the spread was 2.5. They won by 3 in overtime. And I think Baltimore come out. I think they show the rookie and the Washington Commanders that y'all a good team, but you're not ready to start with the big boys. We at home. Lamar Jackson is when it comes to the NFC, I think he's something like 15-1 or 16-2. It's some crazy record like that because the NFC don't play against the AFC like that. If it is, it's every 2-3 years. You know, it's one thing to watch game film, and then it's one thing to see Lamar Jackson faking one way with Derrick Henry and then running the other way. And Washington got an all right defense, but I think Baltimore comes out, and I think they spank them on some did not tell you not to come in this house after curfew. I think they spank him, and I think they spank him good. Next game, Arizona at Green Bay. Green Bay giving 5. Green Bay is 3-2. Arizona is 2-3. Arizona is another lock that we had last week with that 7.5 against San Francisco 49ers. Oh, real quick, we had 49ers last night too. Start the week off. I didn't bet on the game, but I had the 49ers. Just so we clear. Arizona, they beat them outright. I'm not going to say that I had Arizona winning straight up because I'll be lying. I didn't have them winning. I had them winning with the 7.5. I just thought that was just too much points, and we was right. Turns out they beat the motherfuckers straight up and they won. This week here, I'm wondering, you beat San Fran. You was at home. Now you're going to play Green Bay. They're giving you 5, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5. I mean, they got to win by a touchdown. The only other game Arizona was on the road for was Buffalo, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yeah, they played Buffalo, and they was winning that game in the beginning of the season. We had Buffalo, but Arizona covered the spread. Then they played at home to the Rams, beat the Rams, lost at home to the Lions. They had 3 straight games at home actually. Then they lost to the Commanders. Commanders spanked them boys. And then they beat the 49ers by 1. I like Green Bay. Only because the spread, it's almost telling you to take Green Bay. It's like, yo, take Green Bay. They beat the 49ers last week, and you giving me 5? Why would I not want to take Arizona? They playing good, right? They getting a little mojo. Nah, going with Green Bay. Next game, Houston at New England. Houston is giving 7. New England is going to be starting the rookie Dre Makes or May Drake or whatever his name is. Houston is 4-1. New England is 1-4. Houston looking good. I had Buffalo last week as a lock. Let me make sure. That was one of the losses last week. Let me make sure. Yeah, we just so we full transparency. Y'all see week 5. You see week 5. Had Buffalo as a lock. You see the money sign next to him, and you see the X next to him. The 2 losses that we had for the locks was Buffalo and the Las Vegas Raiders. Anyway, let me go back to CBS. New England getting 7 at home, starting a new quarterback. At first, I was on Houston when I was looking at it. I'm like, now y'all want to start a rookie quarterback against a pretty good defense. Houston has a pretty good defense. Obviously, they 4-1, but they haven't been covering. They covered last week because they was favored. They was underdogs. Was they -1? I think Buffalo was -1. Then they made Houston by 1. But all they really had to do was win. None of their other games did they cover the spread. And we're gonna look now just for the sake. I'm gonna try to go as fast as possible. So they the Colts, they won by 2. They didn't cover the spread. The Chicago Bears, we had the Bears that game. They didn't cover the spread. They won by 6. No, I think the spread was 5.5. I think it was fluctuating. They lost to the Vikings. They didn't cover the Jacksonville Jaguars spread. And again, they covered Buffalo because I think Buffalo was favored. I don't think they cover 7 points. I mean, they got to win by 10. Could they possibly go in there and spank New England? Of course, they got the better team. But New England at home, I think New England is on a 3-game losing streak, if I'm not mistaken. 4-game losing streak. Do they lose 5? Possibly. But I don't think they get blown out. I think they keep it close, and that's what we betting on. Gorgeous, what's the word? We're talking sports right now. Week 6 in the NFL. If you're about your bread, this is a segment for you. Next game, Tampa Bay Buccaneers Shout outs to everybody in the Florida area. I got family in the Florida area. That was another topic I was supposed to cover about the government and evacuation. We ain't going to get into that now. But my family is good. Hopefully, if you got family out there, they're good. Definitely devastating times, etc. But shout outs to everybody in the Florida area. Anyway, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they favorite 3.5 at New Orleans. We had New Orleans Monday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City keep pulling it out, bro. They don't be covering the spread. They keep winning. All they do is win. And they started the season 5-0. They on a bye right now. I thought Kansas City would win, but I didn't think they would cover the 5.5. Derek Carr got hurt. I don't know if he's going to play this week. Tampa Bay coming off the loss to Atlanta. We had Atlanta. 3.5 is a bit much. 3.5 is a bit much. I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa Bay win the game, but I don't think New Orleans is going to lose 4 in a row. I think it's 4 in a row. Yeah, because they lost 3 in a row. They lost to the Eagles, close game by 3. They lost to Atlanta, close game. They lost by 2. And obviously Monday Night Football, they lost by 13 to the Chiefs. I think New Orleans bounce back. If they don't win outright, I don't think they lose by 3.5. I say definitely take the 3.5. Next game, Cleveland Browns at Philly. Philly coming off the bye. Philly giving 9. Cleveland is 1-4. Philly is 2-2. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. Philly been riddled with injuries. They haven't really shown us that they could, beat a team of last year, and then even up to a certain point of last year. I think they won 10-1. They went 9-1 in their first 10 games. Then after that, it was a decline. I think they get back to their winning ways, but they haven't really blown nobody out yet. And I know Cleveland fucking sucks ass right now. Like, Cleveland is trash. Sprinkle some dirt on them. They fucking trash. Hate to be like that, but they are trash. With that being said, I'm not going to bet on the game, but I'm not going to take the Eagles -9. I just can't take the Eagles. I know they're coming off a bye, so they should be well rested. They should be ready to go. All systems should be go. I think they could win by 7, 6, 6.5. I don't think they win by 10, but I won't be surprised if they do. I'm just not going to bet that they win by 10. So I got Cleveland to cover. I definitely got Philly to win the game. Next game, Indianapolis Colts, 2-3 on the road at Tennessee, who's 1-3. Tennessee giving 2 on the hook. Tennessee, Monday Night Football, we had Tennessee against Miami. Tennessee won out, they won the game. I think they're coming off a bye too, if I'm not mistaken, right? Tennessee coming off a bye. The Indianapolis Colts is 0-2 in their division. Will they go 0-3? I was leaning towards the Indianapolis Colts, and I really want to take the Colts because Tennessee, let's face it, they're not really a good team. They beat Miami. Miami couldn't score. They couldn't move the ball. Tyreek Hill, I know he like, damn, bro, can we get a backup quarterback in here that can throw the ball? You know what I mean? Like somebody, anybody, like somebody could throw me the ball. Offense is stagnated. They just look bad. So maybe that's why they lost last week. I'm going to go with Tennessee, though. Teams that coming off of the bye, division games at home. You got a whole week, and you got a whole extra week to prepare for the team that's coming in. Again, just for transparency, I was leaning towards the Colts. Could the Colts come in and beat Tennessee? Of course they could. I think Anthony Richards will be playing. Last week, Joe Flacco had to step in. Anthony Richards hurt his hip or whatever. But I think Tennessee win, and I think Tennessee goes to 2-3, and I think the Colts go to 3-3. That's what I'm going with. Next game, a few more games and we out of here. The Chargers coming off a bye. They favored by 3 at Denver. Denver is 3-2. Chargers is 2-2. I like the Chargers. I like the Chargers a lot. I think the Chargers come off that bye feeling rejuvenated. Oh, don't get me wrong. What's his name? Bo Nix. He been playing well. Sean Payton. He got Denver playing good. The defense is good. The offense still leaves a lot to be desired. But I think the Chargers is the better team. I think they're the better team. I think they prove it. I think they come in and they get the win. Denver, I think, is on a 2-game win streak. 3-game win streak. So this weekend, as you can hear the trend as I'm talking, I'm betting teams that's been winning that they're going to stumble a little bit. And so I got the Chargers. I like the Chargers strong. Next game, Pittsburgh at Raiders. Raiders was a lock last week. We was wrong. Pittsburgh, we had Pittsburgh last week against the Dallas. How about them Cowboys? In my opinion, I think Pittsburgh should have won. I did watch the game. Justin Fields, he was looking good. I don't really think it's his fault that they lost. You know, I think Mike Tomlin, at the end of the game, I think he coached bad. You should have let them score. I think the first coach that I ever seen do that was Bill Belichick playing against Peyton Manning and them. You see me got my shirt. Rest in peace, my grandfather. You know what I mean? Bury him Monday. He was an avid sport fan. You know what I mean? He loved sports. I think if they would have let them score, then you got your timeouts. You got time on the clock. Then you could go down there and you could score right back and you possibly win the game. But you relied on your defense. You wasted your timeouts. Then you had no timeouts. Then you let them score. They did score. They went for it. They had no choice but to go for it. On 4th and goal, they scored. So shout outs to them for scoring. Now you got no timeouts. You got no time left. And now you expect Justin Fields to go all the way down the field and win the game, and it didn't happen. I said all that to say, I don't think Pittsburgh lose 3 in a row. Obviously, the Raiders, they're not a good team. They on a 1-game losing streak. They lost to the Panthers, then they beat the Browns, and then they lost to the Broncos, a team that they always beat, by the way. I see them losing 2 in a row. I see Pittsburgh breaking that losing streak, getting back in the win column, and I like Pittsburgh. Next game, Atlanta at Carolina. Atlanta is 3-2. Carolina is 1-4. Atlanta's giving 6. I like Atlanta, but I don't like them to cover. Divisional game. You got to be careful with the divisional games. I think Atlanta going to be pretty good this year. In fact, we bet on them 3 times this year. We won twice and we lost once. And we bet a couple dollars. You know what I mean? We took Atlanta and we bet a couple dollars on them. So we 2-1 with Atlanta. I won't be betting on this game because I actually like Carolina. I think Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, if they don't win the game outright on some upset shit, I think they keep it close. I think Atlanta will probably win, though. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is the week that they lose. Next game, Detroit at the Cowboys. Detroit coming off a bye, right? Let me make sure. Detroit coming off a bye, so as you can see, I'm leaning towards the teams that's coming off the bye. Last year, this was the playoff game. Cowboys beat Detroit. Detroit should have won last year, in my opinion, right? But they didn't. Now, Cowboys, they're just coming off Sunday Night Football. You beat Pittsburgh. I thought you should have lost. I'm leaning towards Detroit, even though my mind is saying it's Cowboys going to lose 3 in a row at home. Because you know, let me make sure. You know, prior to them losing to the Saints and losing to the Ravens back-to-back at home, I think their record at home was something like 14-1 or 14 straight. Some crazy number where they've been winning home, including the playoffs. And then they lost to the Saints. And then people like, oh, they ain't going to lose back-to-back. Oh, no, they're going to lose to the Ravens. We had the Ravens as a lock, and we was right. This week here, I'm like, damn, is the Cowboys going to lose 3 straight games at home? I think they do. I know that may not be popular, but Detroit coming off the bye, they was banged up a little bit. We see them I think it was Monday Night Football, play against the Seahawks. And even though the Seahawks look a little shaky the last 2 games, Detroit is a good team. I think they better than last year. I think they well rested. I think they come out, and I think that's why they favored by 3. And I like Detroit. Will I be surprised if Dallas win at home and get their first win in the season? No, because they lost 2. And Sunday, when I wake up, I might even change this pick because I've been going back and forth. But I think Detroit is the better team. I think they're probably the rested team. So we're going to go with Detroit. Sunday Night Football, Cincinnati, favored by 3.5. They 1-4 at my sign is back here. You're not gonna be able to see it. My New York Football Giants is in the back, but you know what I'm gonna say next. It's New York in the house. It's Brooklyn in the house. Uptown in the house. Charlotte, you like my New York Football Giants. They surprised me last week because I had Seattle, and I'm happy that the Giants won. But I'm mad because I had Seattle won a good parlay ticket and they fucking lost to the bum-ass Giants. Sunday Night Football, Giants getting 3.5 against a team that they got a better record than. I like Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati come out. I think they spank the Giants. I don't think the Giants is a good team this year. They're probably going to win maybe 6 games, maybe 7. But I really don't see it. I like Cincinnati to win and to cover. Let's get to the Monday night game, and then we're going to get to the locks. Monday Night Football is Buffalo, the real New York team, because they play in New York. They play in New York State, going against the Jets. Jets is 2.5 underdog. Buffalo is 3-2. Jets is 2-3. They just fired Robert Saleh, whatever his name is. Aaron Rodgers was clapping back at Shannon. And everybody that was saying it's his fault and he co-signed on it. They demoted Hackett, whoever was the offensive coordinator in Green Bay. And some changes is going to be made. Make no mistake about it, right? I think Buffalo was the better team, but I'm going to lean towards the Jets. Not on no homer shit, but normally in sports, and this ain't really nothing to bet on, and it's not a lock. But in sports, when the team fires the coach or they have some internal drama, normally that's a rallying call and teams actually come out and play well. The Jets probably would have a better record if Aaron Rodgers would play better. I mean, they had a chance to win the game last week. We had the Jets thinking they was going to upset Minnesota and give Minnesota their first loss. We was wrong. And if he would have threw the touchdown instead of a pick, we would have won. But he threw a pick, and he threw 3 picks last week, and we fucking lost. Let's get to the locks.
Ray got the fire back.
Hold on. Get to the locks.
Yeah. Great fire.
Winner.
Rich famous.
When the chicken, then the money long clicking. Those who do it daily, one-on-one popovism. Cooper Gray got the fire bash lit up. Hit the bad line in the
Throwing signals. Shout out to my nigga Famous. Shout out to my nigga Great Fire. That's actually Great Fire's song featuring Famous, and it's called Money Line. And obviously I like it because they shouting me out. And one of my slogans is winner, winner, chicken dinners. But here go the locks. Not from Yonkers. The locks that get you and me the winner, winner, chicken dinners. I'm going with Baltimore. I probably figured that the way I was talking about them over Washington. I think they're going to crush Washington. I like Green Bay over Arizona. I like New Orleans not to lose 3 games in a row. I like the Chargers coming off that bye. I like Pittsburgh not to lose 3 in a row. And I like Detroit Lions coming off the bye over the Cowboys. So here go the locks. Baltimore, Green Bay, New Orleans, the Chargers, Pittsburgh, and Detroit. $100 on a 6-pick, 48, 41. Winner, chicken dinner. Last week we went 4-2. Last real quick thing. Although I'm going to make that a parlay, and I'm actually going to put $100 on that, because if I win, that's 48, 41. $4,800 and 48, 41. However, I'm also going to separate the games and bet individually on the games. So that way, if we go 4-2 like we did last week, we can win. If we go 5-1, we can win. If we go 3-3, nobody loses. Obviously, if you go 2-4, then it's a loss. So just for the people that watch my show, if you're a gambler, you coming from my insight, I appreciate you. I bet every day. That's what I do. But don't just be betting to be betting. Try to win. And so in order to win, After you do your parlay, whether it's my parlay or you do your own parlay, the strongest teams that you're going to put on a parlay, just separate them. Put a little $100 on each game, $50 on each game, $20 on each game. And if you have a winning record, then you're going to win. Obviously, if you have a losing record, then you're going to lose. And just again, if you just tuning in, as far as all the locks for the season, we 14 and 16, so we actually 2 games under 500, so we losing. And we're going to try to fix that this week. But separate your games. That's what I got for y'all. Y'all was just tuned in. Popovich TV. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic. That feeling back up in here one more again. Yeah, kid.